Welcome everybody to today's webinar brought to you by TopTipper, and we're going to talk today about how to enhance your hiring and reward your employees. I'm David Waxman. I'm the co-founder and CEO of TopTipper. I'm also the managing partner of Partners, a real estate development company based here in Philadelphia. And we have a focus on large-scale adaptive reuse projects of historic buildings. I attended Boston University, and for fun, I like to collect cars and art, spend time with my family and travel with them, and read books, mostly nonfiction and biographies of historic figures.
Hi everybody, my name is Dimitri Pervin. I am the co-founder and CTO of TopTipper. So I'm responsible for developing TopTipper's IT roadmap, architectural features, application features and enhancements, and just the day-to-day IT technical work as well. I'm a Philadelphia native, Temple University graduate. I've been here most of my life. Some of the interesting stuff about me, so I absolutely love to travel. Just got back from Costa Rica for my honeymoon. Love going to concerts, seeing live music, local bands, and also just got married. So I'm lucky enough that my wife also loves the above two things. So just a little bit about me.
Our agenda today will have us talking about industry trends related to hiring, some possible solutions to how to mitigate the hiring challenges in the hospitality industry. We're going to introduce you to TopTipper, the cashless tipping platform. We're going to talk about how TopTipper plays into some of the hospitality trends that we're seeing in the years to come. We're going to show you how it works, and then we're going to show you how you can get started on your cashless tipping journey with TopTipper. So let's start off with some overall hospitality hiring trends that we're seeing. I don't need to tell all of you who are here today, I'm sure you're experiencing it, hiring and retaining talent is more challenging than ever. There is a major shift away from hospitality jobs to other industries, causing a labor shortage and hampering the post-COVID recovery for hospitality companies. 97% of hospitality companies are experiencing staffing shortage, with 49% saying they're severely understaffed and 58% of those surveyed pointing to staffing as literally their biggest challenge. To address that, 90% of hotel companies have had to increase wages to compete to hire, but they're still understaffed and are still competing with other industries for the same workers who are switching industries to better paying jobs that are, more importantly, are less labor intensive. 45% of the workers who have left the industry during the pandemic say they would only return for higher pay. At the same time we're seeing this, we're seeing fewer and fewer consumers carrying cash. I'll ask all of you, reach into your pocket. Are you carrying cash with you right now? Most Americans rarely carry cash, if ever, and millennials and those behind them, younger generations, are solely relying on Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, and other forms of cashless payment that use their smartphones. So what are some possible solutions to these challenges? Hospitality companies need to find a way to attract and retain talent in order to provide a great guest experience, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. If a guest has a great experience, they're going to tell their friends, they're going to post about it on TripAdvisor, and more importantly, they're going to come back. So what can hospitality companies do to achieve this? Sure, they can increase hourly wages to attract talent. It will likely attract and retain talent. Better paid employees are typically happier, and happier employees do create a better guest experience. The cons are clear. It hurts the bottom line and is probably not sustainable. Turn on the news, pick up a newspaper, read a magazine. All we hear about is inflation, inflation, inflation. There's widespread inflation that's causing wages to increase across all industries. Some industries are more suited to increase wages and in turn pass along that cost to the end consumer. Hospitality companies can only raise wages so much before it really becomes a problem. There's a common misconception that hotels are these massive cash cows that make massive profits, but in fact, the margins are often razor thin. In addition, hotels have to be concerned of occupancy. So you can raise rates, but if you raise rates too much, your occupancy is going to suffer and you're in a worse place. In addition, hotels often use reservation systems to take a pretty big cut of any wage increase, or I should say nightly increase on the room. And so the hotels don't see the full increase. Another potential solution is to find ways to automate work with AI, robots, and technology overall. It can create efficiencies. It would show your guests you're cutting edge. It's expensive. It might turn off guests, and it's early. And these new technologies can only do so much. Right now, where we're seeing the most use of this technology in hospitality is automated guest texts and emails, automatically setting nightly rates or revenue management, predictive guest behavior and personalization. So effectively, these are great tools to make your staff better and smarter and often more efficient. And it's making businesses make better informed decisions, and they can streamline the business flow and optimize performance. Chatbots are very widely used in all sorts of industries right now that use AI, and people are used to that. Self-service check-in uses technology and AI as a great tool, and it creates a nice hassle-free guest experience. But there's certainly downsides to all of this. There's what's called AI stupidity. And effectively, this is the inability of the technology to make reasonable decisions based on the available data. For example, since AI decisions are based on human input, it's possible to feed it biased or incorrect data, thus creating real problems or inappropriate decisions. There's also the potential for data privacy issues. And a recent study showed that 9 in 10 American internet users are very concerned about how their personal data is used. Hotels absolutely do not want to go down this rabbit hole until the data privacy concerns are flushed out as it relates to AI. Another potential solution is to cut back on services so you don't need as many employees. Yes, this will save money. Yes, you won't need to hire as many employees, but the guest experience is going to suffer. Your reviews are going to suffer, and in turn, it's going to hurt your occupancy and bottom line. A big thing we're seeing today across all industries is this trend of skimpflation, where effectively you're paying the same price or more for less of something. So whether it's at a restaurant or a box of cereal, people don't like this. You go to some hotels now and you're seeing no room service, no fresh towels, and for some guests, they don't mind. But others see this as a way for hotels to simply boost profits at the expense of the guest. In addition, by not cleaning the rooms every day, hotels are in turn making it harder for housekeeping to do their work because the rooms are dirtier. So this poor customer experience is going to hurt a brand. And data shows, according to a recent survey, 87% of hotel guests will spend less or stop spending on brands that cut service. 48% will share their bad brand experience on TripAdvisor, Google reviews, or tell their friends and family, and 33% will simply switch brands. So this obviously is not good for a hotel's bottom line. Another potential solution is to just make workers work harder and longer shifts. It will save money. You won't need to hire as many workers, but you're clearly going to have burnout. You're going to have a lot more turnover. And right now, employees have the upper hand. It's a tight labor market. According to the last data out, the unemployment rate is 3.5%. These employees are just going to quit and get a new job, most likely in another industry. Unhappy employees create a bad guest experience, which is bad for your brand. And in turn, you're going to have decreased work performance. You're going to have health issues, and this is all going to go and hurt the hotel's bottom line. More importantly, guests are going to see that these employees are not happy and are overworked. And it says to your guests that you don't care about your employees. Ethical labor is a real burgeoning trend to keep an eye on in the hospitality industry, and consumers do care. So what's the common thread across all these potential solutions? They all have significant downsides that won't solve the problem, or they create other much larger issues for your company. So what can you do to compensate your employees to attract the best talent and at the same time not overburden your bottom line, while at the same time creating and maintaining a phenomenal guest experience that people want to come to your resort over and over? We think that solution lies in the use of a cashless tipping platform like TopTipper. TopTipper is a super convenient and easy cashless tipping solution that can be used at your property to tip any and all of your workers that you want to see get tips. By introducing TopTipper, You're going to have happier employees. You're going to have better employee output. It signals to your guests that you care about your employees. And all of these things are going to lead to a better guest experience. And the best part of all of this is there's zero cost to your organization to roll out TopTipper. It's free. Tipping as a concept is already built into the UI of all new POS systems. So it's top of mind for consumers. They're used to it, whether it's a tip jar on Twitter, the tip page at your local coffee house, or restaurants creating this tip the kitchen concept. People are used to it. They understand that tips are important, and hospitality tipping has always been a thing, but with less and less people carrying cash and hotels being cashless without ATMs in their lobbies, it's impossible for people to tip. We recently, over the holidays, rolled out our solution with a local property management company in Philadelphia that has full service buildings with doormen and women, concierge, etc. And we rolled it out for the holiday. Prior to using TopTipper, this company just had cash tips given to employees. This year, using TopTipper, building staff earned over $500 more per employee in tips, with 50% higher tenant participation than previous years because it was made easy and simple for the residents to use. Let's talk a little about some of these hospitality trends that are coming down the pike this year and the years to come, and how TopTipper plays perfectly into these trends. They include the digitized guest experience, a self-service guest experience, cashless hotels, all of which are the use of technology in hotels, and ethical labor practices. So the digitized guest experience, I don't need to tell you, as you probably all have smartphones, apps and technology are increasingly important. Whether it's for mobile check-in, biometrics, using the phone as a room key, guests are comfortable using their smartphones throughout their daily lives, and they expect it. TopTipper fits perfectly into this trend. The self-service guest experience. Any of you that use a PMS software system, you have the ability to offer guests a pretty self-service experience. And guests want to take their hotel journey in their own hands when they want to, offering convenience and speed while enhancing the level of service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can use self-service technology to expedite guest service requests, create a great first impression because you're controlling the experience. This all, again, TopTipper ties perfectly into this trend. Cashless hotels, going back to my earlier point about most people not carrying cash anymore, hotels are well aware of that, and many hotels have stopped dealing with cash at the front desk and other places within the hotel. Guests want to manage their own payments. They want to use their form of payment, whether it's debit, credit, Zelle, Venmo, you name it. In order to modernize the hotel experience, hotels have to be cashless to meet consumers where they are. Obviously, TopTipper ties into this trend perfectly. And I touched on this a little bit earlier, but ethical labor practices are essential. And the hospitality industry in the past has really been under fire for their hiring practices in the past. So there's a renewed focus on doing the right thing. Also, with this increased cost of living due to inflation, hotels need to be mindful of how this affects their employees. And if you're doing less room service and other services and there's less interaction with guests, employees have less chances to get tipped. And tips are a major source of income for many of the low-level hotel employees. So cutting back on these services in turn cuts wages. And guests are more aware of ethical labor practices than ever before, and they're going to talk about it. And again, the hotel guest experience and their reviews on TripAdvisor are essential to your performance. So again, TopTipper ties perfectly into this trend as we're looking to make sure that hotel workers get compensated properly. Next, we're going to talk about how it works.
Thanks, David. I'm going to talk a little bit about how the TopTipper application works. So the first step on your onboarding journey is a TopTipper's account is created for you at no cost to your organization. And the account includes a number of things. First, you'll be provided a login for an organization dashboard, which is essentially a window into tip activity for your organization. It's also where all the settings live and where you can manage things like accounts, payment information, and things along those lines. The image you see here is a glance into our reporting analytics section, giving management visibility into the tip flow activity per service roles, in this example at a bed and breakfast. The dashboard has a number of configuration options that can be altered to fit your business, such as tipping for the entire property as one pool, having the reporting broken out by service roles, or even as granular as your employees. So all that is at your fingertips. Secondly, your account will be assigned a unique web address URL and also a corresponding QR code. All of this will be visible and available to you right from the dashboard. The image here shows an example of a wood panel sign that we provide to place around your property, allowing guests to scan the QR code with their phone and easily send a tip. Third, when the tipper scans the QR code, they're taken directly to the tipping page to easily and seamlessly send a tip. What's important to mention is the guest does not have to download an app or even create an account if they don't wish to. They can tip directly from the web browser, and this makes it absolutely as seamless as possible from a tipping perspective. I don't know how many times I've gone to a restaurant and I've scanned the QR code on the table and it makes me download a menu app. It's just more work to do, and we try to make this absolutely as simple as possible from a guest experience. I mentioned there's also a corresponding unique web URL that's assigned. If tippers are directed to this URL, they in effect will be taken to the same tipping page as I just went over. And I'll dive a bit more into that, of the power of having a web URL at your disposal in a few slides. The real value here is that guests can tip the employee at their own discretion and time, providing a discreet and subtle tipping option. No more fumbling for cash or having to run to the ATM. It's all digitized, discreet, and best of all, easy. Using a pool tipping option, it's important to note that all tips will be sent directly to the organization's business account on file, which is linked upon initial sign up in the TopTipper dashboard. Now, most organizations do opt to use pool tipping as it's the easiest to implement, and you don't have to individually onboard employees and manage unique QR codes for each employee. However, the option to onboard individual employees is available to you if that's something you'd like to do. So TopTipper already has several key integrations that we'd like to highlight. We've partnered with ResNexus and Guesty in the property management space, and we've also partnered with OnFleet in the tipping logistics delivery space. Keep in mind, you don't need to use any integrations if you don't want to, but they are available if you happen to already be a customer of one of our partners. So as an example, if you are a customer of Guesty, which is one of the property management companies that we are partnered with, or property management POS systems, I should say. We're proud to say that we have built an end-to-end integration solution for this. So all it takes is filling out an onboard form, and TopTipper essentially does the rest. We import all of your properties from Guesty into the TopTipper dashboard, assign a unique URL to each property, and Guesty has a customer communication feature as shown with the screenshot in the slide, where property managers can actually customize emails and text to guests, and we made it super easy to embed the unique tipping URL right into this communication. Another example is an integration work we've done by partnering with ResNexus. This integration also utilizes the use of unique URLs, and property managers can easily paste them right into the guest communication with just a few clicks. The video linked on this slide goes into a demo of how this works if you'd like to learn more. So to summarize, TopTipper is an excellent way to reach your customers and make it easier than ever to reward and recognize your staff. As David mentioned earlier, more money in the pockets of your staff make happier employees and in turn create happy customers. We'll get you up and running at absolutely zero cost to your organization or property. And in addition to a convenient, simple, and cashless solution, you'll have a variety of features and visibility into the tip transaction activity for your company at your fingertips. This includes a detailed reports and the ability to export these at your desired cadence. So get started on your tipping journey today. So how do you get started? Email us anytime at hello@toptipper.co. We'll get you all signed up and we'll be there to support you at every step of the process. And you can also get a head start and fill out our intake form at the link shown here as well.